Man. The tribal chief returns and beats the dog shit out of CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Okay, everybody was wondering what were they going to do with Roman Reigns. Was this going to be a situation where he actually sits out? Did he need some time off? Did he need some rest? For me, like the only rivalry you can interject them into is CM Punk and Seth Rollins because you can't make Roman a mid Carter. And now it begs the question: are they really going to let Jey Uso main event WrestleMania? Because the him and Gunther match has zero steam, but Punk, Rollins, and Roman. That's a fucking main event in itself. So I think they probably bumped Jey Uso to opening match, kind of the way they did Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and make that night one pay per view because clearly John Cena and Cody Rhodes has the most heat. So you and this being John Cena's last main event, you got to let him go night two, respectfully. All right, so overall, the Raw was mid until the ending. It was mid. I wasn't I wasn't surprised to see Roman, but I definitely was surprised to see Roman turn on CM Punk. Being that Paul Heyman was showing Punk a little bit too much attention, and Roman couldn't get to who he wanted. Seth Rollins at the time, he wanted to curb stop Rollins into the still, and yeah, he just chose to just take his frustrations out on Punk, threw him up against the cage, and speared the shit out of him. Still trying to figure out the play, like what long term booking wise, how does this make sense? I thought Roman, if he didn't return tonight, I thought he would return at um at WrestleMania, cost John cost John Cena the title or try to fight The Rock, try to intervene somehow, and then that's when we would get your Rock versus Roman. I don't think we're gonna get it WrestleMania. I think logically speaking, being that they're doing SummerSlam's first two night pay per view, I think SummerSlam is going to become the summertime WrestleMania, and then that's the route that they'll go. All of that just makes sense. Overall, tonight, just mid. Tonight was a black and mild. It was nothing special. I was expecting to see John Cena. They bumped him to Belgium. That really didn't make sense. It's fucking Madison Square Garden. Like you had Cody Rhodes cut another promo, second promo in like 3 or 4 days. We needed to see Cena, but this is the problem with having such a high profile guy who is a part timer in a high profile match. You're not going to get him every day to build this storyline. It seems like they're trying to build the John Cena versus Cody Rhodes storyline with everybody else, getting everybody else's reaction to it, getting everybody else's thoughts on it. All right, we about to bring on my man Tyler. Tyler, what's good
Oh,
with you?
what's up, my man?
Hey man, I'm chilling, bro. Yo,
Man,
did you think Roman was going to show up tonight?
I had a feeling, with MSG, they always got to do something big. And for the most part, tonight's show felt kind of so. I'll say that from my
It,
perspective.
it was a mid pack. It was
Yeah,
mid.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing going on with it. And then I was like, they've got to do something in this show off right because New York ain't going to be forgiven. They're just not that type of city. They're pretty strong with how they feel about their wrestling. So the thing that got me was Paul. That's what got me.
You think some long term story building with that?
Hmm. I think by mid year or years in, we're gonna have Roman and Punk for the title eventually.
Who is likely to turn heel in that situation, or is it a babyface versus babyface, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart ish?
So for me, I personally think that it's going to be Punk turning. Here's why: because of Paul's track record. Paul is not a loyal guy. He's just not. but I feel like he has that old attachment with Punk, and Roman is the jealous one right now.
Mm,
If you really look at it, because it's like, why are you with him? Why are you doing this? And I think eventually it's gonna come down to it where Roman's like, you gonna help me or you gonna help him? And then to continue Roman as a babyface, he's gonna help Punk. And Punk needs a heel turn anyway in the future. I'm not saying right now, but I do think it would freshen him up because everybody's still on that honeymoon phase with him being
yeah.
back. And so once he's out of that honeymoon phase and he starts getting to that point of desperation as well, I think we could see something. But overall, what do you think?
Okay, so I have a lot of like mixed emotions. Hey, Lo, what's good, Lo? Um, First, there's too many baby faces at the top of the card,
Yeah,
and Lo says Jacob Fatu is going to take over. The problem is Jacob Fatu is so fucking over with the crowd. You got to turn him into a baby face. There are too many baby faces at the top of the card. Look, Cody, Roman, Punk, Seth. Now you got Damian Priest, even though if you want to consider Damian Priest a mid card guy, but
yeah.
that's too many. Like who are the top heels?
You don't really have a lot.
Who are the top heels that are active? You got The Rock, and you got John Cena, but they're active. They don't show up to fucking to they only show up to like PLEs and
Yeah,
like so
you really don't have anybody. I mean, you don't have anybody that's what I call a true heel, to where they are just a person that you want to pay to see them get beat up. That's what I call a true heel. So, like a Kevin Owens is kind of the in between guy because he's really a tweener. I mean, he is more heelish, but he's justified. Drew is somebody that's justified. We have justifiable heels, but I want that person that is just reckless, just crash out all the time, and the fans hate him. I want somebody that we hate. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody that's cool.
the most over true heel in the company has been Dominic Mysterio for the last 3 fucking years.
Yep, yep,
And
and it's organic.
but here's the issue though. You have him. I saw him lose a fucking speed match to what's the fucking dude named Ivar.
Yeah,
Like in order for he's the number one heel, the number one true heel. Even if he's cowardly, you have to start getting him the fuck over. All he does is get everybody else over. He got
yeah.
Liv over. He gets Raquel over. He got the whole Judgment Day over. No, man, like you can't go the Logan Paul route because he only fucking works a couple months a year. So no, if you either make a true heel or you elevate Dom to the top of the fucking card.
He could do it. I think he's ready for it. He's been stuck in that mid card situation for a little bit. I think you can have him be a slimy heel. He's already got his crew around him. He could be that slimy heel that sneaks wins all the time. I mean, he could be a good Intercontinental Champion and eventually get into the world title picture. Um, I think for the world title picture, he needs to beef up a little bit because the scrawniness is what it is. But I know, hey, that's however his body works, how's the body's going to work. So, but I think if he was a little bit beefier, I'd say at least close to 97 Eddie as far as body wise. I think he'd be. I think he'd be there.
Yo, crazy thing is from 97 to 2002, Eddie, like it was a drastic
Yes,
fucking
like
transformation.
his arms were still somewhat big in '97, but it's like his whole body got huge by '02 because
Right.
him taking that time off and going to Ring of Honor, working with Punk and Mysterio there. He bulked up after that, and ultimately, unfortunately, that led to him passing away early.
A low. Here's the thing. Very similar to Tiffany Stratton. Jacob was booked as a heel. He's getting babyface pops. Like Tiffany, Rhea, both booked as heels. Started getting amazing babyface pops. You got no choice but to turn them. Okay, now they turned Naomi heel, but that's a weak heel. I mean, wait, wait. Let me give her opportunity. Let me be fair. On the outside looking in, before I know the storyline, Naomi doesn't seem like the type that could pull it off. But Brian Breaker, he turned he turned main roster as a heel, started getting babyface pops. So
It's
they cannot sustain a true heel, and that's because of bad booking.
hmm they make them too cool. You have these NWO type too cool heels, and the reason why he's so over is because obviously he's quick as hell, and that spear is devastating. That spear is probably the best spear in the business right now. And yes, I'm out talking Roman too. Um, but you can't have cool heels all the time. You don't need that. You need a reason to hate somebody because at the end of the day, if I want to watch a wrestling match, yeah, I want to see something good, but I want to have a reason why I want to see this person get beat.
Mm.
You know,
He doesn't have the best spear technically, but he is the most explosive motherfucker. He's the most explosive powerhouse I've ever seen.
yes, for his
And I
size
think it's
too.
because he's smaller than all of them too.
Yep,
But yeah.
for his size. Who do you think has the best spear currently?
Hmm.
What
It
else?
might. Shit, that's hard, bro. Because all right, so this is what I need out of a good spear, right? I don't need you to just hit the setup spear. I need you to be able to do it as a counter. I need you to be able to do it out of the air, and I still haven't seen those things from Brown as of yet. So I'm going to give it to Roman. The worst spear. I hate Bobby Lashley's spear, bro. Hate it.
You hate to flip over.
Hate it, yo. I don't like flip over spears, bro.
Moose
Edge.
Moose is his worst. Moose has a terrible looking spear.
I didn't. I haven't even checked
He
it out.
does the Bobby one, but it's ugh.
Best spear all time. I'm gonna say it's Goldberg, but most versatile spear, Edge. Edge can hit that thing any way imaginable, yo.
My thing was, and you bring up Goldberg. One of my favorite spears is his. I know we talked about the one with Nunzio back at the Rumble in '04, I believe. We talked about that one before, but I also like the one he hit, I believe, on Kiwi or Kiwi, whatever that guy's name was in WCW. So he was going for a springboard, and when he jumped and turned around from the springboard, Goldberg caught him. One of the nastiest looking spears I've seen. Absolutely love it. With the edges, I have a love hate relationship with it. Like he shows intensity in the setup. That follow through is just like he's hugging them, man, every single time. Like Christians looks better than Edges as far as like the move itself.
Edge is the guy that hit the most legendary spear, TLC ladder, bro.
That's different. That's different.
Typical animes. What's good, bro? Typical animes. He says Roman
Okay.
spear.
What's up?
I said typical animes in the comments. He said Roman spear number one.
Roman Spear is good too.
Can Roman can Roman or Goldberg hit a spear off of a ladder? No.
They would be
Maybe young Roman. Maybe
terrified to
young
try
Roman.
that. Now I gotta say, the one Roman hit on Big Show, like back in the Shield days or a little after, that was a great spear. I don't know if you've seen that or not. He got some
No.
power. He's got some power behind that spear. It was so great. You remember how Braun basically jumps into him, like
Yeah.
feels like he's floating. That's what Roman felt like with that. Kyrie Sane back in NST had a great spear. She don't ever use it anymore. I don't know why, but She had a great one. But as far as tonight goes, what what are we feeling about WrestleMania as of right now, based off of what we got tonight?
Mid card looks shit.
Yeah, they just praised. I felt like Madison Square Garden really got cheated out of their stuff.
Everybody, yo, I was thinking about going up, driving up there because I thought Cena was gonna show up. Now, I'm a Roman guy. I really don't fuck with Cena like that. But I thought like being there, Cena addresses the heel turn, some legendary shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That was it's top two as far as heel turns. I
It's
can't
top
say
two, but
I
it's
can't
two.
say yeah. I can't say it's number one because we don't see the ramifications of it just yet. It's still fresh.
Tyler, deep in your soul, you know it's not number one.
It's
What
not
are
number
you?
one. I know
How,
what
how
number
old are
one
you?
is.
How old are you, Tyler?
I'm wearing RKO, but you see what it's inspired by.
Yes. All right. So you had to be there. If you
Yep.
were old enough, it was like the world fucking stopped. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Just okay, first we were kids, we didn't know it was fake. All right.
Yep.
Fucking Razor Ramon shows up on fucking Nitro, and we're like, oh shit, like it's finally
Yep.
happening. They're gonna wrestle each other. Then we see Diesel, and we're like, yo, what the fuck?
With the
Hogan turns,
adjective.
huh? Oh yeah, yeah.
And then Hogan was the icing on the cake for that. I mean, he truly
Yeah.
was, because it's the one person you wouldn't expect. For me, I felt like John
You know
needed
who
the
we
turn.
expected though?
Who?
Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
I thought this is at the time we didn't know anything about fucking contracts or any of that shit, bro. I thought Shawn Michaels was gonna show up on fucking Nitro.
Yep. And at the time, I think that was rumored that he was planning on jumping over. I know Brett also got an offer at the time as well to jump over there.
They
He's
said
on
he
the
tried. They said he tried to leave. Said he wanted to go be with his buddies.
Yep. They wouldn't let him. Vince loved that man. Typical animes. You stop yapping. I see you over here in the comments, my guy.
Yo, so Tyler, are you letting Yeet Mania headline night one, or are you giving it to Roman, Seth, and Punk?
I think there needs to be bigger stakes for me to give that triple threat the main event. Reason why is because it's great. Yeah, you have your top three stars. There's nothing at risk. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing valuable in it. It's just a fight at this point. Now, like last year, go back to last year when we had the tag match. There was something that had ramifications attached to it. What if what if we get a number one contenders match out of that? What if that's
Said
where the
number one,
what if
what
that's
for
where the paper
SummerSlam?
comes in? Yeah,
For SummerSlam?
could be SummerSlam, could be whenever. I think they're going to put the belt on Cena and have Cena run with it for a little bit. I just
Okay.
do. I
How
do think
about
that,
this? The winner gets interjected into
and that's where the favor comes
Cena.
in.
Oh,
That's where that
okay.
favor comes in.
Winner gets interjected into Cena versus Cody.
And you think about that, because I
Who
mean
would
the
you
matches are going to
who
be
would you
gone.
want it to be though? Who makes the most sense for it to be?
Realistically, Punk makes the most sense.
I think so too. Roman doesn't need it.
No, the only way I can see Seth is the least likely of all three because he has no attachment. Cena and Punk have a history, and Punk's already told Cody about going after the championship. Roman has ties with Rock, so there's something that you could play off of there. Now, who are you going to help? Your boy Cena, or you going to help family?
What if it's Roman, Rock costs Roman, and then now we
Mm,
get
yep,
Bloodline?
set that up. I mean, there's ways to work around it. I know that's where they centrally want to be. They want to be Rock versus Roman, point blank. That is the match everybody's wanting to see. I know they should have done it last year. Semantics. In my opinion, they should have never had Cody win the Rumble if that was going to be the case.
No.
You could have had Punk go out there. Yeah, Punk got injured. That could be your story. Punk
The
got hurt.
crybabies, though. That
Yeah,
you come on, you remember them. Oh, we got the finishing story. Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my
It
fucking
just.
annoyed the fuck out of me.
But here's the thing: we got Final Boss Rock out of it, and I'll take that because I was starting to get bored of, oh, I'm finally back home, Hollywood Rock. Not the Hollywood Rock of old, not the '03 Rock, but just the hey, I'm just happy to be back guy. And that's why I enjoy Cena's heel turn right now because he's he's finally getting away from hey, I'm that happy to be back guy.
Okay. What do you think of a corporate stable? Now you need, of course, you got Cena and Rock as the head, but you need guys that are going to be there every fucking day. And what I was thinking,
Hmm.
because of the way things have been playing out, Drew.
Yes, I can see Drew being a part of that 100%. You got to have somebody that's that crash out guy, and Drew needs something better to do anyway. Him versus Damian Priest does nothing for me.
Nobody gives a fuck, bro.
Hmm.
Nobody cares. Drew, who would you add, who else would you add to the stable? Now you need, of course, probably some tag guys and maybe a mid card guy.
Just because I want to see them do more with this guy, I want Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, bro. Yes. Yes.
Carmelo would fit perfectly in a corporate role. Get him suited up. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Who else?
as far as tag teams, who would I think would be good that's not doing anything at the moment? It's tough. God, I can't really think of anybody who I would throw in a tag team.
Street Profits.
That's a great choice as well. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about single individuals that would be a good team. I was like, every team is doing something at the moment, which is good. I'm glad they're focused on tag teams. But yeah,
Yo,
the profits
o-
would be great.
Street Profits or turn LA Night Hill.
Perfect, perfect. And I mean, he modeled himself after The Rock, so you got that going. And I think he would fit in perfectly because he's a Hollywood type. MIS one, yes, they do need to put Mello and Trip back together. I love them together, and I think that would be fun.
Here's the thing. I expected them to, because you see Roxanne Perez drop the title, and you see
Yep.
her always sitting ringside on Raw. And when Mello dropped the title to Obafemi, I figured that. No, I'm sorry. When Trick dropped the title to Obafemi clean, I figured, okay, it's time for him to come up. Mhm. They've they've booked Mello and Braun completely different, and it kind of
Me and you talked about this at Rumble.
yeah, they booked them completely different. Now they're putting Mello in matches with the best guys, but he's right now a jobber,
Yeah, pretty much.
and Braun is being booked as just this unstoppable beast, and they both were blue chippers. They both had a name coming out, and this kind of coincides. You said Mello sucks WMB. How does Mello suck?
Mello doesn't suck. He's just in sucky storylines.
See, yo, like dudes really really believe how I got a explanation. Braun isn't a star. Braun's being booked as a star.
because you can give Mello. Mello's good on the mic, but they don't give Mello no mic time.
You got to make Melo a talker. You got to put Melo is supposed to go into the Shawn Michaels role. He's Shawn's baby. We all know that.
Yep.
You're supposed to put him into that role.
My CWNB, yeah. I mean,
He should be cheating his ass off to win. Melo could be the guy we talking about top heel. Melo could be that guy.
he very well could be. I
The
mean,
slimy heel.
you saw how he was when he turned on Trick and how the fans hated him for it. You could do that. You can't do the exact same thing because nobody. Some people don't watch NXT, so some people won't get the reference. But you can still have him be that slimy heel. You can have him just be diabolical and just let him crash out. Let him do it. Like the Street Profits are. I love what the Street Profits are doing because they're just beating up everybody. Everybody gets the hands. You know?
I would say LA Knight, Melo, Street Profits. Have them be the and Drew. Have them be, or would you take? Do you think that's too big of a stable?
I don't know.
How how
I
big was
think
the
I think the
corporation?
biggest staple was the NWO and then the corporate ministry behind it.
Yeah, but how big was the corporation?
You
And
had
initially, it had corporate Kane, it had The Rock,
you had Rock, Shamrock, Boss Man,
Shamrock, Bossman,
Test,
Kane,
Kane.
Triple H joined. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you there's plenty enough, and that fills up your roster with people. Okay, what's associated with this? But at the same time, it's not like the NWO because the NWO everybody came out to the NWO theme, except the B Crew. They had their own separate thing. Each of those guys had their own theme. They were associated, but they all did their own thing within the group.
hmm.
So like Boss Man and Shamrock were the tag team. They were the tag team champions for a while. Test was that new, young, up and coming guy that had the look. He could be an enforcer for the group. Triple H, of course, well established. That just cemented him as a heel to turn into that group because that group was already strong enough. Of course, you had Corporate Rock doing his thing, excuse me, and he was so charismatic that he could be that cool guy in the group. So you everybody has a certain role within it. You know, Vince was obviously the most hated out of the bunch.
Mm.
He's the overlord, just like The Rock is now. You have to have the cronies, so whoever the cronies may be, maybe some young guys that they can bring up that
And that's
could
what I'm
start
saying.
learning. Yeah.
You need to do something with the fucking Street Profits. You need to do something with them.
Yep.
Have them
WMB also.
mellow.
Sorry about that. WMB was also saying Shamrock was IC champ during that time as
Yeah.
well, and actually, it's because he won a tournament, and then Vince wanted him to join, and so he ended up doing that thing against Austin or something like that. But yeah, that the corporation, when you look back at it, they had some good people come out of it. You know, I know
They did.
most of them are already established,
That's
but it
that's when
really
fucking
helped them.
Triple H turned into a main eventer
Yep.
out of the corporation.
Getting out of DX, man. But I'm very interested to see what they do. I think they do need underlings to for Cody to come back on or whoever. Somebody has to fight to get to that person. You just can't automatically just get to them. That's what I like about certain movies like 007 movies, for instance. You always got like underbosses and stuff like that
Mhm.
you fight off to get to where you want to be. And there's always going to be a curveball there. And I think if you have that and you take the time to develop these young talent, putting them with somebody like The Rock or Cena, like even under just like a learning tree type aspect of just like, hey, we're in this groove, let's do the what to do, what not to do. Have those two minds help create the future, you know?
I like that, Tyler, and make the group not just specifically on one particular brand. Have them have members on each brand.
That's what I think is missing nowadays. Is just people being spread out to different brands
Mm,
because you've got people that are it's all one on Raw. Like LWO specifically Raw. You'll see
yeah,
them move around every once in a while, but it's not going to move too much. I like to have that flow because keep in mind, Brock owns all of WWE in story. He's on the board, so in real life he does have that aspect as well. So if he has somebody taking over on Raw, on SmackDown, he's got his daughter in NXT. She could turn heel eventually.
have it a whole corporate stable
Mm-hmm.
move like LA Knight or somebody. Because remember, it's two belts to go after. It's not just one.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make Drew the champ or
Yeah,
have him competing on Raw for Gunther's belt or put Gunther in it.
yeah. Gunther would be a good selection. I feel like he's great on his own, but I did enjoy him more when he had all of Imperium together for his underlings to be that distraction to say, oh, you didn't win fairly because you had X, Y, and Z, but you can still
Mm,
brag to be a dominant champion. I mean, you got to think about it. Hogan did that. I can't tell you how many times I watched Nitro, and then there'd be a run in from the NWO on a finish, or it would actually be a non-finish because the show would go off the air. They're like, tune in next
yeah.
week.
Yo, I'm not sure if you remember this. The most unbeatable heel, maybe the best heel I have ever seen in my life. I want to see if you can guess. It is not going to be a guy. It's not going to be a guy that's like a Hall of Famer or nothing like that. But it's the greatest heel. It was next to impossible to beat.
Mm, trying to think. We've had some great ones over the years. Not Hall of Fame level.
Do you have any? He should be in the Hall of Fame. Do you have any like older guys that you know that watch wrestling?
Uh, not that I know of, but I mean, I used to watch. I mean, I've watched several years worth of content. I mean, if I can tell you, the most successful first heel turn was probably Larry Zbyszko and Bruno Sammartino. That's kind of the first major one that pops in my mind. Of course, Buddy Rogers and all that stuff back in the day.
All right, so you know so you know your history. Okay,
Yes.
let's see if you know about Raven.
Oh, absolutely know about Raven.
Raven was
Raven was fantastic.
unfucking beatable, bro.
He was fantastic.
Unbeatable. And they also had a tag team in ECW that was unbeatable. Best tag team I've ever seen. Motherfuckers can talk about the Road Warriors, Heart Foundation. No. Best tag team I've ever seen in my life is the Eliminators, bro.
Saturn and
Easy.
Cronus. Saturn and
Easy.
Cronus, man.
And WCW missed out because fucking John Cronus broke his fucking neck.
Yeah,
And that Perry Saturn never had the success he should have had. If John Cronus was alive, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. If John Cronus was active.
yeah. And unfortunately, he has passed, which sucks because I
Oh
mean,
shit, he did.
yeah, he's passed away.
Mm.
I think he passed away before One Night Stand, the original One Night Stand. I can't remember the exact time frame.
Was it due to that injury?
I'm not for sure. I do know that everybody said he was the most talented big man they've seen. Because if you go back and watch Barely Legal, them versus the Dudleys in that first match, and props to Bubba for having a broken ankle during that match and getting through it. But he's doing moonsaults and diving off the ropes, just stuff that you didn't see in '97 from a big man, not his size. He did a
I
dang
thought it was John
cartwheel.
Cronus. He was like 6'4", 6'3".
Yeah, yeah. And he was a little bit
John,
chunkier too. I can't remember his weight, but he was a little bit heavier.
bro, John Cronus, man, very, very athletic. kicks, very athletic, bro. Oh,
I think their finisher is a top 5 tag finisher.
total elimination, bro.
It is
Total elimination.
top 5.
When I tell people, they were like, "Who, bro? You had to be there, man. The fucking
Uh,
eliminators, the gangsters, um, Public Enemy, like all of them. They used to try their goddamn hardest."
man. You want to answer this question from Figment? I think he had a question for you.
Oh, your thoughts on Alex versus? Oh, bro, I didn't. This is a wrestling channel, bro. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that. Even though I heard it was a great fight. Some people said that Pereira got robbed. I didn't see it though, and I do watch MMA, but I didn't watch that one in particular.
Man. But going back to it, I thought the Flock was a really good group. Going back to WCW, Billy Kidman got made out of that. Van Hammer, I really don't care about. Sorry. Uh, I thought they could have done more with Stevie Richards in the group. They really didn't use him as much. And this is kind of hindsight, but I shout out to Stevie and his YouTube channel. Love watching his stuff because he's very real and honest about everything.
I love Stevie back in the day, even though Stevie was like
He was the quintessential job.
he was a Shawn Michaels like clone.
Yeah,
Tried to be like the Stevie kick.
yeah. And see, they had the BWO, Blue World Order. Love it, man. Big
Yo,
Stevie Cool.
most over babyface. I think we had this conversation for anybody that's listening. The most over babyface I've ever seen. Fucking Sandman, bro. ECW, Paul Heyman is a fucking genius. Sandman, he would come in there, you would think it was 30,000 fucking people, yo. You would think it was 30,000 fucking people there, man.
It,
I never listened to that was a Metallica song, right?
yeah. Enter
I
Sandman.
never listened to Metallica at all. Like no black guy had listened to Metallica. We all was fucking singing that song because the Sandman, yo.
Well, he had an aura about him too. Because you at that time you didn't have people coming out smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer. Early
Are we
'90s
going to
was
acknowledge the fact that Stone Cold? We talked about this. Stone Cold stole a lot.
oh, absolutely,
Stone
absolutely.
Cold stole a lot from the Sandman, yo.
Yeah, for me, I think the swagger was there for Austin. He just had to find it. He did find it in ECW because he got that creative freedom, but that don't mean he didn't take from anybody, and everybody takes from everybody.
Everybody does.
It's just what it is. Because you're going, I'll give you the greatest example is Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is a Triple H clone. If you really look at him,
Mm.
specifically like his TNA career before he became WWE, he had the long hair. He had like the expensive Ric Flair robe, so he kind of matched in with that. But his spine buster is very similar to Triple H's, more so
Mm.
than it is Arn Anderson's. Because Arn has a very distinct spine buster. You know, Triple H has that kind of lift up, flip over, drop type deal.
Arn has the best spine buster. Super like textbook,
It's
snug.
smooth, smooth.
Like, yo, you remember when he could take her with that shit off the
I was
couch?
just about to bring that up.
Off the couch, though.
Brother slid in the ring, hit it, dipped out.
Yo, the slide. Yo,
Man, WrestleMania 18 is underrated, by the way. Just a side note on that. But
shit.
man,
We got off topic real fast. I'm gonna let
yeah,
you
go
finish your thoughts before we head out. Give me. I love Naomi too, bro.
same here. I'm glad
Give
she's
me.
heel. It's something refreshing for her.
Yeah, they had to change the character. The fucking neon shit. It wasn't working.
No.
Give me night one, night two. How would you book WrestleMania?
If I'm wanting to start off hot, I'm having JB Gunther first.
Hmm.
Think of it like the Seth and Brock Lesnar. situation at 35. They were the first ones out. Got that instant reaction. Got a great pop. You get the title change. I know that's not fair because he's main event Jay, but if we are putting stakes on the line between Roman, Seth, and Punk, if there's stakes and they're very, very serious stakes, that has to main event night one.
Here's the
Night two,
thing. Jay's already main evented WrestleMania. Punk never
yes,
WrestleMania. He's never main evented.
yep. And I'm perfectly fine with Jay going on first because that's a good way to start off the show. You have an exciting title change. You have somebody that the fans wanted to see
Which
win.
night though? Which night?
Night one, night one.
Night one? Okay.
Yeah, because night one, that's going to be the triple threat for the main event. Because if those stipulations come into play, then that could have a factor on night two, just like last year did.
Mm.
Now, where this leads the women, that's it's tough. It's tough because, quite frankly, the women's title matches, they haven't felt important to me just yet, and that's just me because Tiffany's still too new
That's
to be in
because
that spot.
they haven't given you a women's title match that you wanted. Everybody wanted Bianca versus Rhea. And what did you get?
And you get a triple threat, but I think Io earned that. I think when we talked in the Rumble, that's who I thought was going to win.
I feel like Bianca earned Io and Liv are the best workers. But Bianca held you down when you stuck her in the fucking tag division. You stuck like your top girl babyface in the fucking tag division. And
And she's going to be turning to the dark side soon too, and I'm ready for it.
I think the only way you have her turn to the dark side is you got to put her in a faction with her husband. Then you got to do something with him.
Well, she's going to be the one that attacked Jade. Naomi's just a scapegoat right now.
I don't think so.
Here's why I say that. If you think about it now, she got the team with somebody she wanted to. Great. But now the tag titles are gone. She's off to focus on better things. She's not stuck with somebody anymore. She really didn't want to be with Jay to begin with, from realistic understanding as well as character wise. I don't think they. I don't think she has underlying motives like, hey, this person is feeling like a bigger star than me
Mm,
in story. But I
yeah.
think in real life they had some personal issues too, which I'm not 100% on that. But I do remember seeing a report or something about that being one of the reasons why they were split up.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember where I saw it, but if that is true, that's kind of crazy. I mean, but then
I've
again,
heard Jade had some heat backstage.
well, I mean, Jade had it back in AEW too, you know.
I
But
hope that. I hope that's not true though.
I hope not either. And you know how the internet is. The internet's full of lies and whatever. So just take whatever I say with a grain of salt on that.
Yeah.
But
I finished booking.
yeah, so I'm trying to figure out who I would put in what night. I feel like Charlotte and Tiffany need to be night one, middle of the show. It's not that important. The
No.
only way you're going to make it work.
You didn't build it for shit.
Yeah, it's been terrible. It's been terrible. If I'm doing a hot open for night two, I would do the women's world championship night two. Now that's kind of crazy because you got both the men's and women's world titles opening both nights. But I feel like again, you'll have a good surprise. I feel like Bianca does win the title there. I feel like EO's just there to eat the pin.
EO's there to get the pin to protect Rhea.
Yep. Yep. 100%. That's why I think they didn't want Rhea to lose the belt at Mania, quote unquote.
Mm.
They didn't want Rhea to lose it. It's okay if Io loses it because they want to keep her strong, you know. And then of course, night two main event is going to be Cody and Cena. And throwing in my my bonus points here. I believe that glass will shatter on night 2.
That was my next question.
I 100% believe it. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be as chaotic as last year was, but there's gonna be something to where Cena and Rock are beating him down, and then all of a sudden you hear that, and then place goes ballistic.
Who
I
goes
think that,
over?
huh?
Who goes over?
At the end of the day, I think Cena does. I think he has to cement that heel turn because I want him to be in that not necessarily Roman Reigns type heel, but that guy that's just overpowerful now because he has the company behind him, just like he always has. Keep that in mind. Just like
So
he
you
always
talking
had.
about the real life, his real life stroke on camera?
Yeah, yeah. He hold that title. He'll come out saying, "Oh, this person's not worthy of fighting me." This yada yada, and people can bring up his backstage politics and promos. We talked about that in the group chat. You know, Cena was a major politician. People don't know that.
You know
They
what's
don't know that
crazy
real side.
is that Shawn Michaels gets a lot of shit for stuff that everybody was doing.
Yep.
But when people bring it up, people always bring up HBK in the click, HBK, HBK. But Hogan was the worst. The crazy thing about Shawn is Shawn was very brash and outspoken about how he felt.
Yep. Sean. Sean was really looking out for himself, but he was also looking out for his friends.
Yeah, and
That's the one thing I can say
yeah,
positive about it. He was looking out
whereas
for his
the Hulk
friends.
Hogan just looked out for himself.
Yep.
Shawn looked out for he got everybody opportunity.
Yep. Except for the people that didn't like him, and he didn't like people either. I think we talked about the issue with The Rock. Them not them
And that
bullying
wasn't
him.
and that wasn't even his issue though. Like Rock, for as much as it helped him in that situation, it hurt him because Shawn had a gripe with him because of dealings with his grandmother.
Yep.
And I don't even know if that gripe was justified or unjustified. Because he wasn't the only one that had gripes with. Like people don't even realize Rock's grandma was fucking indicted. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That lady. Mm,
yeah. So
people need to do their research. Please do your research
I can't even say I don't know what the particular gripe was, but Sean's wrong for taking it out on Rock. But at the same time, your grandma,
well,
people had issues and
it's it's
justified issues.
it's the same thing with Austin and Jeff Jarrett because
Yeah.
Austin did not like Jeff's dad and how he was
Yeah.
getting paid. Now Jeff did make a stupid comment, and at the end of the day, he did apologize for it. But he basically told Steve. Steve got that check. Steve was living off raw potatoes and all this stuff. And Jeff patted him on the back and said, "Hey, buddy, you can look at all you want. It ain't gonna get any bigger." And walked off. And
Mm,
Jeff's excuse was that was what he was told by all the vets when he first started.
mm.
So he was just passing it on, and Steve took it wrong. But Steve took it to the point of, oh, okay, I'm taking this personally. And then when he's the top star, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do nothing with you.
But you notice Steve, people make excuses and justify everything that Steve does. When it comes to other dudes, people condemn him. Steve doesn't get people always get on Sean about not putting people over. But Steve refused to put a couple of people over
Yeah.
because he didn't like the scenarios or the situations.
Now with the Brock one, that's justified. Because to me, Steve was still a top star at the time. I feel like you could have done that at a pay per view. I
I
feel like,
agree.
or build up to it at least, not
But
just
when he
to
didn't
throw right
like
now.
how he was being booked, he didn't show up.
Yep.
If that had been Sean, like, and I feel like guys that tell the stories kind of create their own narratives
Yep.
because dudes that Jim Ross don't like Sean. Um, Jim Cornette don't like Sean. So when it's something that Sean did, they blow it up. Something that Austin did, they justify it.
My thing was the crazy part, when Steve took his ball and went home and they had that pretty much whitewash of him, that was They even had JR whitewash him, and that said a lot to me because I'm like, isn't that you're supposed to be your best friend that you dogging? Because I think it was
Mm.
like a confidential, like WWE Confidential or something like that back in the day, where they talked about that. And
Hey, WMB, you saying 2 people versus 12 people, bro? Sean put over a lot of fucking people. I don't think you like Sean put over a lot of people. Now, was majority of those people his friends? Yeah, but Sean put over Diesel, and who the fuck was that? Like, who the fuck was Kevin Nash? Like, really though?
just a bodyguard. I mean, he was Vinny Vegas before them, and
Like, come
then
on, man.
now with Scott Hall. Scott Hall, I think he was already doing well before then. I love the Razor Ramon character. I love the whole introduction of the character, but I think it helped. He helped elevate Scott
Sean put him
by
over
his
with the
pulling.
ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Sean put Triple H over on multiple occasions. Who the fuck was terrorizing? Nobody gave a fuck.
That and he stuck up for him. You know, like with the whole not Montreal, curtain call.
Curtain call. Curtain,
Yep.
yeah.
With all that, yeah, Triple H had to eat dog shit for it, but Sean took up for him. You know, it's just
He,
Sean was champion. You can't punish the champ.
he said
Unless
Cornette
you're
called
RVD.
Steve out. He said he called Steve out one time. Cornette shits on Sean 361 days a year, bro. I'm not telling you Sean is some fucking saint. I'm saying the top guy, I don't give a fuck who it is, always plays politics. Brock Lesnar, bro.
Brock,
How many motherfuckers have put Brock Lesnar over, bro? How many people have Brock put over? Please,
and
WMB, please tell me, yo.
I with Brock, my fandom kind of fell out with the Dean Ambrose situation at 32 because he just Ambrose was trying to come up with different ideas to make the match fun, and Brock said no to all of it.
All Brock wants to do is have these Ultimate Warrior fucking squash matches. That's it.
And hang on, I'm just reading WMB's message here. Yeah, no, Sean, outside of the politics, he could be an asshole. I mean, we talked about that too.
Sean's a fucking douche.
He's huge. I mean, stealing the man's wife, then trying to pit it on Brett. Come on now. You know
Cool.
what I'm talking about. Sunny days.
Yeah, but Brett was fucking sunny too. So
Well, everybody was, so.
yeah, but don't we can't act like like Brett got himself some too.
Yeah.
So
Man, I'm
um
surprised. I'm surprised Brett wasn't on the Funkettes back then.
yeah, yeah.
He loves
But
his black women, man. I can't fault
bro,
him.
bro, Brett like Sean is the father of the attitude era. People want to attribute it to Austin. While Austin had the impact financially, the Attitude Era was literally built around what Sean wanted Vince, what direction he wanted Vince to go into.
Yeah. I think people say it started in like '96. I don't believe that. '96 was still pretty much good guy versus bad guy. No, really.
97.
'97 is where it started. If you go back and look at Sean doing the wearing the biker shorts with stuff in his shorts and doing the crotch chop in front of JR, that's where attitude came from. Because Vince saw that and said, that's attitude. That's where it came from. So Sean is the father of that.
It's crazy they never got a chance to like see that era through. By the time he came back, it was ruthless aggression,
Yep.
which I know y'all love it, but that shit is some mid pack.
You have to, and every era has that. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the Attitude Era. Going back and watching it, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad too. There's a lot of shit.
Fuck you, Tyler.
No,
Fuck you.
I am an Attitude Era baby. I love it. That's my
We're
heart.
bad. We're bad. We're bad.
Beaver cleavage, the GTV stuff that never went anywhere. Uh, who else? Who else is another bad one? The Gold Dust artist formerly known as Gold Dust era, where he's coming out wearing the crazy suit outfits with Luna. The oddities were good. I enjoy the oddities. I thought they were funny. Golga's hilarious because of Cartman reference and all that. But there are some stuff that's just kind of, in hindsight, is really
Oh,
weird.
WNB. As a teenager at that time, no, that shit was awesome, dude.
Uh,
That shit was awesome. As a teenager, at that point in time, that shit was awesome.
but for me, there was a lot of stuff that I have to go past like 99 and stuff to say like Attitude Era great. 99 has some good stuff in it, obviously, but there's a lot of weird stuff. You,
Dude,
my
y'all
favorite
tag
frequencies.
division. Y'all tag division was top ass. Dude, think about the tag teams that we had. New Age Outlaws,
Yep,
the Hardy,
yep.
Edge and Christian, Too Cool. Who am I missing? I'm
Now
missing
let
one
me
more.
ask you this: would you
The
classify?
Dudleys.
I'm gonna give you some tag teams. I want you to classify them, whether they're Attitude Era or not.
Good.
So, because again, I'm thinking '97 is where this starts. Nation of Domination, I think, does qualify specifically the Nation. When we're talking about Owen and Rock and D'Lo and Mark, without Farouk. Um, I thought the one with Farouk was right before.
It
Do you
got it.
class?
No, it was still around. It was 96, 97.
Yeah, because
So,
that's when Farouk started. I think it was Survivor Series '96. If I'm not mistaken, is when that
because
started.
remember, they initially had Farouk wearing that dumbass gladiator thing.
Mm-hmm. Terrible, terrible. That's Ron Simmons too, man. A former world champion. What were we doing with him?
Bro. Oh shit, bro. It's about to be 12 o'clock.
Man,
Yeah,
We gotta continue this Attitude Era
we
conversation later.
definitely making stuff up doesn't really work. I don't even know what that means. Um,
Yeah, Brandon,
but
you
yeah,
gotta
Tyler.
explain a little bit more on that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not even. I'm too tired to even get into that. But yeah, we gotta do something a bit more consistent. Are you going to SummerSlam this year?
So I am not. I am not. I'm actually saving for Mania next year because I'm 3 hours away from NOLA. So drive down there, enjoy the show, man.
I'm thinking about sliding that, man. I'm thinking
Hey
about
man,
sliding
let me
that.
meet you down there. Me and my whole work crew. I got my buddy who lives in Dallas. He's gonna be moving back here. We're going out there. So man, it's just gonna be a good time. It's always fun party vibes with that. Oh, he's talking about WMB's assumptions.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, he was talking about the women being stripped and all that stuff. There's different things with the Attitude Era, and again, we can get in that another time. I
look,
feel like we could do a dang deep dive on that. And
women didn't even get fucking TV time before the Attitude Era. So, like,
Alundra Blaze was the last, really, and all that was Vince just needing women on the roster because all it was her and her Japanese friends. They didn't do. I'm not hating, but it was all Joshi
that's the truth
wrestling.
though. The
It was
the
all
the
Joshi wrestling.
division the division was ass. The division was ass. It
Also,
wasn't.
shout out to Bull Nakano for Hall of Fame induction and all that. Thought that was really cool because she is one of the all time greats over in Japan, and she was great here. Now Bertha Faye was great in Japan. I hated that character so much here in the states,
Mm.
but she was good too. So, but Bull Nakano, I just haven't noticed from 2K25 that she's in there as DLC this year um, with her Hall of Fame induction. But Bull Nakano is she's one of those that should have been in well before anybody else. She was a pioneer.
I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna roll out. The reason why the Attitude Era was so good is because coming from the new generation era, which was so bad, and that was the era that I still love, but that was the era I first started watching. Your Duke the Dumpster Drosies, your fucking Phineas Godwin, and your fucking Portuguese man of war Aldo Montoya. Dude,
Can't forget Avatar.
watching who?
Can't forget Avatar, aka Al Snow.
Watching watching that and then going into the Attitude Era. It was like night and day. So that's why the Attitude Era is always gonna have like a special place in my heart. But Tyler, thank you for hopping on. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my
You're
man.
definitely one
Always.
of the staples of this channel and hope you continue to be. I look forward to seeing what's SmackDown. Fucking Raw is gonna be 3 p.m. fucking next week. Whatever.
I'll probably be at work during that, but
Yeah.
looking forward to
But
catching
shit,
up.
hopefully it's a good one, man. Everybody in the
Absolutely.
chat, everybody that's watching, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe. We'll head out.
All right, see you on the next one.
All right, bro.